Howdy, and welcome to another episode of the almost world-famous Cactus Atlas. Today, I'm venturing deep inside the Chiricahua National Monument, hiking what's known as the Big Loop, a sequence of trails that traverses all that is wonderful about this area. If you want to find out what this hike is like, come join me and let's go find out together. I'm at the Echo Canyon Trailhead parking lot. Our journey will begin here on this trail. Most of the hiking trails at Chiricahua are located near the center of the park. Today, I'm hiking what's known as the Big Loop. It's a configuration of trails which form an almost 10-mile loop through the wilderness area, representing the best of what Chiricahua has to offer. One thing that's kind of scary is we are entering a wilderness area. Cougars, black bears, rattlesnakes, cactus, and cliffs. And assistance is not always immediately available. And yes, that does worry me slightly. All right, let's start this thing here. The first few steps of the trail of the Big Loop. Specifically, we're on the Echo Canyon trail portion. Never have really hiked here before, and the reason being is this is a very remote location. At least for me, this national monument is about 4 hours away from where I live. We're starting to see these rock spires here off in the immediate distance. That is what we've come here for. One thing that I love about the rocks here, they have this neon green lichen. You can even see here, starting to form in front of me, more of those with that coloration on them. We're going to be seeing a lot of that today here. Woo! So just a quick little lesson in geology. 27 million years ago, a volcano known as the Turkey Creek volcano erupted, and all of its ash fell, and over time formed what's known as rhyolite. You had the action of erosion, water freezing in the cracks, expanding, cracking, leaving these very interesting rock formations. The Chiricahua Apache refer to these as the standing up rocks. Chiricahua has also earned the nickname a wonderland of rocks, and it truly is a wonderland of rocks. Where's the last place you've been where you could see stuff like that? We're in between some big rock formations, and this trail just bores right through the middle of those, and we exit out in the sunlight, it looks like. The further down we go, it's like we get deeper amongst these rock spires, and they just get taller and taller. Just look at how thin like some of these are, and how those tops are just barely balanced up there. Here you can see that's the bottom of this little canyon or ravine or whatever the proper term is, and we're winding down the trail going off in this direction here. My early on nervousness when you read about the warnings, like there are rabid animals in this area, cougars, bears, all that kind of stuff. After you get deep in here, all of that worry just kind of melts away. And you could see how quickly the vegetation changed just by descending down. Went from much less vegetation to just a little overgrown down here. I also hear bees and a lot of buzzing. I'm not quite sure where they're at, but now that's scary. I actually see some water down here. Looks pretty nasty. I recently kind of studied up on mountain lion footprints. I can't tell, these are not very well formed, but do you see that there, in there? I could see an animal coming down here to drink out of this water source. Regardless, some kind of animal with decently sized footprints was here, so I'm gonna continue to move on. And we've now arrived at a decision point. You have the Hailstone Trail, which we're not doing. What we're gonna do though is head off this way, which is part of the big loop. We wanna take the lower Rhyolite Trail, which is 1.1 miles to the next trail, which I believe is the Deming Trail. So a little perspective for you. We started on the other side of this wall here to descend, I'm assuming, down into this canyon here. And a little perspective for you again. We traversed, I think, down and around into this canyon, and now we're on the other side. I don't know if this is a little bit of a rock slide area. Certainly looks like a man-made thing to hold it steady, I suppose. We have a ways to go, folks. We have a ways to go, especially because I'm going to be doing some of these additional loops, which are off the main trail. We want the Deming Trail, which takes us to the Heart of Rocks loop, which I'm really excited about. And it's very dark and shady. We're pretty deep inside a canyon. Almost looks like we're going to go through another canyon. No, yeah, we're standing on top of that rock slide that I pointed out. I hear people. My guess is the Heart of Rocks Trail is very close, and people are a welcome sight at this point. I've been wandering out here for a long time now without seeing anyone. The Balanced Rock Trail would be the next segment I take as part of the big loop, but part of the big loop does include the Heart of Rocks Loop Trail. I am gonna do the Heart of Rocks Loop, but I feel it's worthy of its own video. So do know that I have published a video to the Heart of Rocks Loop Trail, and I'm gonna put a link in the description down below so you can check that out. That's the Heart of Rocks area right there. I'm now departing the Heart of Rocks Loop portion on the Big Balanced Rock Trail. Big Balanced Rock, 1,000 tons, 25 feet high, and 22 feet in diameter. Look at that. That is something else. Doesn't that remind you of an old Looney Tunes cartoon? I can picture Roadrunner up there with a stick trying to pry loose that big rock onto Wile E. Coyote, who's down below. All right, time for my Instagram photo. Duck face, take 2. There should be a trail to something called Inspiration Point if I didn't get off course. Inspiration Point Trail, which is an out and back trail, so we're gonna come back the way we came. I'm not sure why they call it Inspiration Point, but let's go find out. My guess is, with a name like Inspiration Point, I'm assuming we're gonna get some really good views of some hoodoos. Look at that. That is beautiful. Now I can see, I think, part of the trail that I started earlier this morning. You see that kind of all the switchbacks there? I believe that's the upper Rhyolite portion of the trail. You can even see in the distance the trail that goes back to the visitor center. And just look straight ahead. Chiricahua is known as a sky island. It's part of a mountain range that comes out of the desert. The desert you see right there. And the reason why this is called the sky island is very evident. Out of that desolation rises these mountains, and the vegetation, the habitats just change extremely. In case you're watching this and you're planning a trip to Chiricahua, you definitely want to make it out on foot to Inspiration Point. It is not accessible by vehicle, and you will be rewarded with spectacular views. Next up, the Mushroom Rock Trail portion of the Big Loop. Okay, I just consulted my map, and the Mushroom Rock Trail, it should be the second to last segment that I have to do. It looks like it's 1.2 miles long. You know, 5 minutes ago, maybe 10, when I was up at the top before I descended into this canyon here, Hunt Canyon, I was remarking on just how fast the vegetation changes, not knowing that I was about to descend into this. All right, so looking behind me, we came through all that mess, pretty much wrapped around on the other side of this big hill or canyon wall, all the way down through there to where I stand now. So only 1 more mile to go on the Ed Riggs Trail. I have a feeling this Ed Riggs here is gonna be a son of a gun. It's only at 0.9 miles to where I need to go, but clearly I have to climb up to get out of here. Ed Riggs, you got me again. Look, another human being. Oh, it's so nice to see a person. It's the final few steps of the Big Loop Trail. I see the parking lot. We're so close, just steps away. Here we are, and done.
Crushed it.
I did it. About 10 miles of hiking all throughout that wilderness down there. I braved mountain lions, I braved bears, I braved rabid animals. Now, was it worth it? Here are my final thoughts about that. I would say from a completionist perspective, it's absolutely worth doing because I think you get to sample everything here in Chiricahua. You literally walk on every single trail with the exception of just a couple. You get to wander through so many varied habitats and biological zones, if you will, and see so much, including the famous rock spires and hoodoos that what Chiricahua is really known for. But if you truly want to dig in deep, yeah, the Big Loop, that's what you want to do. But wait, there's more. You didn't think we were done yet, did you? The best part is about to happen. I'm gonna drive down to the visitor center and claim the medal that they're supposed to be giving away for doing that hike, and I'm gonna get that dang medal. Okay, so I've made it now down to the visitor center. Drove all the way, the almost 8 miles I think, to get back down here. And here's where I'm guessing I need to go to get that pin, so I hope they don't disappoint me after all that. And I got it. Check this out, let's come over here to the sun. There it is. Rock the Rhyolite. It's the pen that I got for hiking over 5 miles at Chiricahua National Monument. So in order to claim this beauty, what I had to do is go into the visitor center, and there's a ranger sitting up front, and you need to validate and prove that you did it. So one way to validate it is each time you get to a trailhead, take a picture of it with your phone or a selfie with the sign in the background to prove it. The evidence is here and it's gonna be on YouTube. I earned this baby.
Yeah!
If you're new here, please subscribe to our channel, and if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Also hit that notification bell to stay informed anytime we release new videos, which we're doing all of the time. You can also find us on social media at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram under the name Cactus Atlas. Well, I need to seriously go sit down and relax and take it easy. Thanks for going on that epic hike with me today. I loved having you, and I'm excited for you to join me on my next journey right around the corner. So until then, take it easy.